because there's such creative energy here, and a lot of people are very interested in doing things by themselves, and that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about things that we can do today to accelerate the adoption of electric transportation. Let me see how this thing works. Is this on? Which end is the maybe it's blocking? Technology. Yeah, I could do that. Okay, so you guys are all here because you like electric cars, is that right? Is that right? Okay. How many of you have electric cars? Alright, electric bike. Okay, we got a few. All right, so most of you know why gas cars are evil, right? And that's what we're trying to tell people. You know, next time you get into a gasoline car, think about these things. They deplete all the resources, they pollute the air, and they make us dependent on foreign oil, none of which are good things, right? And if you think about how bad it is, it's actually pretty bad, right? So oil resources are critical for everything we do, pretty much. And burning them to move us around is actually not a good use of that limited resource. Pollution is another thing, and the point that I like the most about this one is that the pollution happens in the worst place it could happen, right? Right where we live. In the downtowns, in the cities, everybody's affected. Actually, there are many studies that show how much it actually hurts in terms of the health of the population and in terms of billions of dollars that it costs us, taxpayers, to actually fix that. And finally, depending on foreign oil, this is a big deal as well. We're sending billions and billions of dollars elsewhere every year. So, as you all know, great recent progress on electric vehicles, Tesla, Nissan Leaf, Chevy Volt, and so on and so on and so on. So Tesla started it all, first successful electric car, and recently named Car of the Year. So everything seems to be going well, right? Well, the problem is that today's EV offerings are still, we think, still niche products, right? They cost a lot, they have limited utility, so low range, take too long to recharge, and there is very few choices, really, right? So outside of Tesla, which is a beautiful car, which costs $60,000, there are no real, huge number of options, right? So you can get Nissan Leaf, you can get a Volt. Beyond that, there are all niche options, all very small models are not available, things like that, right? Very small lineup. And what we also like about this one is that it's targeting a small part of the market. If you think about it, average car in the United States, it has an 11-year lifetime. So only 10%, less than 10% actually renew their cars every year. So even if you have 50% of new car buyers buying electric, which is not going to happen anytime soon, it will still take 10 years or more to actually replenish convert everybody to electric. So what do we think, our Maker Group thinks about some of the solutions to this? And I want to, just before we go into this, I want to say that, hey, obviously, battery technology needs to improve and some of the fundamental changes need to happen. But these are all things that everybody likes mentioning that, right? Battery technology, infrastructure, and all that. But these things take a long time, right? And what I want to show is that there are things that are immediately available, immediately doable, that could bring EV adoption to a much greater degree, right? So one of the things that we're going to talk about first is, hey, can we target all drivers, right? Can we just move beyond the new car buyers and talk to everybody? 95% of you guys who are here have gasoline cars today. What can we do about that? So what we think we can do is conversion. And If you go to our booth, which is in the transportation section, you will see one of the examples of what we did. We took a BMW gasoline car and converted it into full electric, and we have the solution, standardized solution to do just that. You can take your car actually in 2 days. You can take all the components out and move the new electric components in, higher performance than the original, and it doesn't pollute, and it goes for 100 miles, and it actually doesn't cost much. Yes? Yes, with a transmission, right? So we try to make it as simple as possible so that it doesn't cost a lot. So you get a car with a performance comparable to Tesla Model S base version for 1/3 of the price. About $20,000, and we're working on what will make this actually take off is the financing or leasing scheme, right? So you say, hey, you come in and you give us your car, we convert it in 2 days, you don't pay us anything, but monthly cost of gas and maintenance that you have to pay, right? So average American spends about $300, $350 on gasoline car maintenance and gasoline itself a month. So if you just pay us that, right, for 3 years, we can make it work economically. So this is a viable solution. Next. So just some comparisons again on the price tag, right? So this car that we have over there in the exhibit is a $25,000 conversion, which is 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds. It's pretty fast. It's actually faster than the original car we have there. And so if you think about from economic standpoint, the R&D is actually fairly small amount, right? So compared to Tesla, half $500 million at least to build a new car, develop a new car, and tune all the components. We just take the existing chassis, which have been engineered over the last tens and tens of years, right? So people like BMW, like Audi, like Mercedes, they know what they're doing. They're building good cars, so we just take that and change what we don't like, which is the gasoline engine, the polluting engine. And what we get in the end is a beautiful car, which is now electric, right? And whatever car you like can be made electric. Let's go next. All right, so I know the font size is a bit small, but basically this is the solution that we have for a BMW, and we're developing more solutions for different types of cars. There are battery packs everywhere in the vehicle, pretty much. They preserve the weight distribution and the total weight of the vehicle, so that for performance cars it actually matters a lot, right? Because you don't want to be skidding around, especially with more power now that you have, more torque. This motor, by the way, that we use will spin the wheels in the BMW in the second gear, right? So we have to hold that, modulate that, so it doesn't go too fast. All right, let's go next. Yes. 300 kilowatt controller and about up to 400 horsepower output out of the motor, depending on the preference. All right, some pictures of the car. You can also see it in our exhibit. See if the clicker works. No, still. All right, so the next one. So that was about targeting all vehicles, all drivers. So the next one I think that is really interesting is range extension, right? So number 1 and number 2 and number 3 complain about electric cars is limited range, right? I can only go for 80 miles, or I can only go for 90 miles, whatever it is, depending on driving style, and then I'm stuck, right? And people can't go for long distances and all of those things. So what do you think can be done here? And we have a prototype in the works on this as well. Is a small trailer that can be hitched to your Nissan Leaf or other pure electric cars, and extend your range by 200 miles. By the way, it also has some cargo space in it. So a typical use case would be you can go. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, you can go for 200-mile camping trip, right? And you can put all your gear into the trailer as well, and it will take you over there. Some technical details around this is 50 kilowatt hour battery pack. We've got 25 kilowatt interface to the main battery, so it will feed your main battery while you go, so it doesn't deplete. And right now it's in prototype stage, so this is how it will look. We hope to bring it to test mode to the beta testers in about a couple months. What's what? Target weight about I think 1,200 pounds. 1,200 pounds. All right. Next. So some use cases, right? So the way we think about actually making it available is are a couple of models because so many batteries cost a little bit, right? So we realize that people will probably not want to just buy it outright. So what we're going to do is we're going to have two models. One will be renting a trailer for, say, you have a road trip to Los Angeles or whatever it is, and you can rent a trailer at the pricing that will make it competitive or better relative to renting a gasoline car, right? Because you rent a gasoline car, you pay $50 a day, plus 20 cents on average per gas per mile. So what we're going to do, we're going to price it so that it doesn't make sense to rent a gasoline car, and this is actually less expensive. Then if you have such trips happening relatively frequently, what you can do is just lease it, right? And have a relatively small monthly payments, and it actually makes sense if you think about keeping a second car on the ground, right? You have to pay insurance, you have to pay maintenance, you have to pay for gas again, right? So it actually makes sense. Let's go next. So the last one I'm going to talk about is the refueling time. So it's actually pretty close to the previous one, right? So you want high range and you want to be able to refuel fast, right? So like you pull up into the gasoline station and in 5 minutes you're out and you have 300 miles of range, right? So everybody's complaining about electric cars, you need to charge it for 8 hours, and even then you have only 40-50 miles of range replenishment from a regular household circuit. So we're going to solve that, right? And the technology, all these things, the technology is available today. So you can actually do this today, and you don't need major improvements in battery technology or anything else. Let's skip to the next one. So this is one of the things that we're working on right now. It's a mobile fast charger. So think about it as I don't know how many of you guys run out of gas. And had to call AAA. So today AAA has an option for electric cars. It's basically a generator on the truck, and it charges your car at a rate of about maybe 10-20 miles an hour, right? So it shows up, it gives you a couple of miles of charge, so you can get to the next socket, right? That's just not too convenient, right? Because you're going to be out for 2-3 hours at least, and you're probably not gonna find a good charging solution there. So what we're working on is a mobile fast charger that's got a bunch of batteries. It shows up at your location wherever it is, and it pumps up to 40 miles of charge in 10 minutes. Right, so that's actually similar to what AAA does to gasoline cars today. They show up with a couple of gallons of gas that takes you 40 miles, 40-50 miles, and you can get home, or you can get to the next fast charging station, maybe level 2. So that's what we're working on. We're on the economic model. It actually makes sense and can be done. Right, so that's one of the things we're working on. So next. We also, and we have some of these things on display in our booth again. So take a look. This is a 25 kilowatt home fast charger that is Shadowmo and J1772 combo compliant, so it can charge your Leap, and it can charge upcoming cars that are coming out of various manufacturers that will use J1772 extended format for fast charge. It will recharge a Nissan Leaf in 1 hour. Right? So with our cars, with the converted cars that we have, we found that having a 1 hour recharge actually changes the way you use the car. Right? So during the weekend, for example, you can have 3 or 4 trips in the same day by just coming back home, having a quick lunch or having a quick coffee or whatever, and you're fully recharged, you can go for next, right? So the only thing you can do is to go to LA, for example, right? Without the mobile ranges there. So this is really cool, and we expect the pricing to be actually, this is the $3,000 pricing is 4 times less than the current pricing for the fast charger, and you can't actually buy it, right, if you're not a company. So I'm talking about a competitive solution. This one you'll be able to buy. All right, let's go next. And the last thing, this is actually what the flyer are about. A little story here. So at some point we also leased a Nissan Leaf just to see what the technology is about for the existing electric cars and whatnot. And we found we got this little cord, 120 volt cord with Nissan Leaf that you use to charge it, and it takes 20 hours to recharge. Right, so that's actually quite a bit of time. So we said, well, that doesn't make any sense. What can we do about it? We then did some research. There are level 2 charging stations that you can put in your house. They tend to cost $800 or more. So we said, well, there's got to be a better way. There's not too much electronics in that thing, and we build a lot of complex electronics already. So this is a project we started. This is an open source level 2 electric vehicle service equipment, which is a fancy abbreviation for charging stations. You can put it in your house. We are running the Kickstarter campaign for it right now. We're hope to raise sufficient amount of money to start production, and it will cost $99 for a kit. Is a question, can this be used for other? No. It's a compliant, so it's got a plug and everything, right? So it's a compliant with the charging system standard. So it will all be fine. Yeah. The point is just, as I said, there is not much electronics in these things, and it can be actually made cheap if you forgo some of the margins or you get a lot more volume. So that's what we're trying to do. And as I mentioned, it will start at $99 and then go up depending on the power level and depending on how long the cord you want and all of those things, right? So you have some information here on the back of this flyer. You can take a look. And we're opening a Kickstarter campaign for it in a few days, next week. Let's click next. All right, so as I mentioned, we're here. You can get all the information about all our solutions, including conversions, including the charging stations, including the fast chargers at our booth. This is actually a picture from 2 years ago when we did our first car. This was like a little garage project. That's how it started, and now we're making all these solutions available. And most of the things that we do are open source. Both hardware and software. Most of the electronics is based on Arduino platform. There is various types depending on the speed that we need, but it all can be done by you guys, right? So we sell kits and the fully assembled units, but mostly kits. We like people to sort of take it in their own hands and do things. Thank you very much. Yeah, pick up a flyer. Thank you. Yes.